The major powers then have apparently agreed to seek a so-called pause plan in fighting hostilities in Syria. At least that's how the BBC was selling it on their website today. A nationwide cessation of hostilities. But this isn't going to apply to the battle against ISIS and other terrorist groups, or groups deemed as terrorists in bombing campaigns. So, even on paper, which is all that this is at this stage, even on paper, it's not a cessation of hostilities. The Russians have been a great help, haven't they, to the Assad regime. Why would the dictator want his foreign allies to stop bombing his enemies in and around Aleppo right now? Some diplomats have already rubbished this latest move. It doesn't fill me with confidence either. And hearing John Kerry or Sergei Lavrov talk about progress doesn't fill me with confidence either. Yeah. And how limp, how pathetic has been the UN response to the Syrian civil war over these last few years. Toothless, ineffectual, lame. Yeah. The divided and national interest driven response of the so-called international community has been tragic, really. And it's Syria's people who continue to suffer and continue to die in hideous ways. Anyway, this so-called truce is supposed to take place within a week. Watch this space. Turkish President Erdogan, well, he isn't happy. He's frustrated with the international community. He wants more help for his country to deal with the refugee crisis resulting from the Syria war. He's clearly pissed off with both the EU and the UN, saying they should be doing more. Turkey is hosting millions of refugees right now. This is a massively costly crisis in both human and financial terms, a huge strain on Turkey's national resources. The European Union has committed over $3 billion to help Turkey, to help the refugees. Yeah. I think the EU is trying to incentivize Turkey to stop so many refugees from flowing en masse into Greece, from where many travel elsewhere in Europe. It's a horrible situation politically and in the humanitarian sense. It could have been handled so much better. But here we are. Apparently now the UAE, United Arab Emirates, has said it's open to the idea of putting troops into Syria to fight against ISIS. Saudi Arabia has said it's open to the same thing. It's already said that. We have the Iranians in there, the Russians, NATO are already involved. More foreign fighters wading into the horror with their own agendas. Yeah, it's possible. How is this going to end, the war in Syria? How can this play out? I'm asking you now, the audience. You tell me. Alright, getting off the topic of Syria, I'll say my piece on the United States presidential race, on the Democratic side of things. I'm surprised, in a good way, that Bernie Sanders is doing so well, giving Hillary a hard time of it. I like Bernie. From what I've read about his career and going on what he's said, he seems to be a man of principle, really down-to-earth guy. Yeah. A democratic socialist running for the highest office in the world's most powerful country. 74-year-old Jewish socialist from Brooklyn. Is Bernie going to get in? If he wins the Democratic vote, I think he's got a real chance of becoming president. But a lot of shit can happen between now and the actual presidential election. I hope he does beat Hillary, though. Yeah, there's something off-putting about her. There's a coldness to her. The speeches seem well polished and such, but yeah, she lacks the common touch, I think. Not a fan. Surely many a banker and many a plutocrat will be crapping his pants should it be President Sanders in the White House later this year. Anyway, on that note, I'll bid you all a fair and pleasant day, and I'll see you next video.